You weren't supposed to talk about what happened on Ford Road that night, but when 3 college students showed up at the Miller County Sheriff's Office with claw marks across their backs, the silence became impossible to keep. It was May 2nd, 1971, and whatever attacked them in Fouke, Arkansas, didn't stop there. This happened in the spring of 1971 in Fouke, a small logging town in southwest Arkansas. Population barely 300. 5 students from a nearby college had driven out there for the weekend. Nothing unusual about that. Kids went out to the rural areas all the time. Fishing, camping, getting away from campus. They rented a small cabin about 2 miles outside town limits, right off Ford Road. Dense woods on 3 sides, sulfur river bottom land, humid, quiet. The weather that weekend was clear. Warm days, cool nights, perfect for sitting outside with a fire. They'd gone there to relax, drink a few beers, maybe do some fishing the next morning. Everything felt completely normal at first. It started around 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night. 2 of them were still outside by the fire. The other 3 had gone inside to grab more drinks. That's when they heard it, a low growl. Not a dog, deeper than that. At first they ignored it, figured it was a wild hog rooting around it. It started again. Branches snapping, heavy footfalls, something moving parallel to them just inside the woods. Same rhythm, same distance, like it was pacing them. One of the girls came outside and asked what they were looking at. Before they could answer, something slammed against the side of the cabin. Hard enough to rattle the windows. Everyone froze. You could hear breathing now. Not human breathing. Guttural, raspy, like something with lungs too big for its chest. The air felt heavier, colder, even though it was a warm night. That's when they stopped feeling safe. They tried to rationalize it. Maybe a bear. Arkansas has black bears, right? One of them even joked, nervous laughter, that it was probably just a drunk from town messing with them. But deep down, they knew. You don't laugh like that unless you're scared. Your body knows before your mind does, and their bodies were screaming at them to get inside. They all went back into the cabin and locked the door. For about 10 minutes, nothing happened. Silence. Then, scratching. Not on the door, on the window. Long, deliberate scrapes, like claws dragging down glass. One of the guys shined a flashlight through the curtain, and he saw it. Not clearly, just a shape. Tall, covered in dark hair, standing upright, and it was looking directly at him. He dropped the flashlight. The thing outside let out a sound, not a growl this time, a scream, high-pitched and guttural at the same time, like a woman and an animal screaming together. That's when the door started shaking. The handle rattled. Once, twice. Then the entire door frame shook like something was throwing itself against it. Boom, boom, boom. The students backed into the far corner of the room. One of the girls was crying. Nobody said a word, just breathing, heavy breathing. Theirs and something else's. Then it stopped. Complete silence. For maybe 30 seconds. One of the guys whispered, "Is it gone?" That's when the window shattered. An arm came through, covered in matted dark hair, claws at the end, long claws. It swiped, caught one of the guys across the shoulder and back, tore his shirt clean open, blood immediately. He screamed. They all screamed. The arm retracted. And then footsteps, running, away from the cabin, crashing through the woods. Gone. They didn't wait. Grabbed their keys, piled into 2 cars, drove straight to the Miller County Sheriff's Office in Texarkana, about 20 miles north. Arrived around midnight. Sheriff's report from that night confirms it. 3 males and 2 females, ages 19 to 21. One male had deep lacerations across his back and shoulder, defensive wounds on his forearm. The deputies asked what attacked him. He said, "I don't know. It wasn't human." They went back to the cabin the next morning with a deputy, found claw marks on the door frame, broken window, scratch marks in the wood siding, and tracks. Barefoot footprints in the dirt near the tree line. Barefoot, human-shaped, but too big, 14 inches long, 3-toed impressions. The deputy took photos, filed a report, labeled it as unknown animal attack. But the town already knew what it was. They'd seen it before. What most people don't know is that the students weren't the first. 2 weeks earlier, April 1971, a local man named Bobby Ford reported something trying to get into his house on Ford Road. Same road, same area. He'd fired a shotgun through his screen door, said he hit it, saw it run off on 2 legs, found blood the next morning and tracks, but he didn't report it officially, not until after the students came forward. And here's the thing, Ford Road became a hotspot. For the next 6 months, multiple families in that area reported the same thing, scratching on windows, things looking in, that smell. One family, the Crabtrees, had their entire porch ripped apart, posts torn out of the ground, like something was trying to tear the house open. Mrs. Crabtree told a local reporter it looked like a man, but it was too big to be a man, and it had red eyes. She wouldn't stay in that house after that. They moved. In 1972, just 1 year after the students were attacked, a documentary crew came to Fouke. They made a film called The Legend of Boggy Creek. It was based on the 1971 incidents, interviews with locals, reenactments, eyewitness accounts. That film became a cult classic. Millions of people saw it. But here's what didn't make it into the movie. The town tried to shut the production down. Local officials didn't want the attention, didn't want people thinking Fouke was that monster town. Some residents refused to talk on camera, others were told not to. Even today, if you go to Fouke and start asking about the attacks, you'll get short answers. People change the subject. They'll smile politely and tell you it's just a legend. But the sheriff's reports are real. The hospital records are real. The claw marks on that kid's back were real. So what was it? Some people say black bear. Arkansas has them, right? But black bears don't stand 7 feet tall. They don't scream like that, and they don't systematically stalk cabins. Others say it was a hoax, but how do you fake claw wounds deep enough to need stitches? How do you fake 14-inch footprints in multiple locations over a 6-month period? Cryptozoologists call it the Fouke Monster, or the Boggy Creek Creature. Or another group of teenagers reported being chased off Ford Road by something that walked like a man, but wasn't one. Same road, same woods. And the town still won't talk about it. So if you ever find yourself driving through Fouke, Arkansas late at night, and you see Ford Road on your right, keep driving. Don't stop. And whatever you do, don't look into the woods, because it might still be there, watching, waiting, just like it was in 1971. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.